You're listening to the Screaming Pods Network.
It's like the old saying goes, the only thing a desperate middle-aged man really needs is a Jimmy Durante in the streets and an alien in the sheets. Jamie?
Yeah?
Let's go watch My Stepmother Is an Alien. Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Good Times, Great Movies. We are an 80s movie podcast where every 2 weeks we watch a movie from the 80s and then we talk about that movie. My name's Doug McCambridge. I'm one of your two hosts. With me, as always, is Jamie Lorello, carrying her purse, of course. Now, what's in that purse? It could be a barking dog. I don't know.
But just the image of a barking dog.
Enough to scare a real dog, though, of course.
Right.
Or tiny money. Maybe you have a tiny $1,000 bill.
Or what about when she pulls out all the IDs out of there? When she's just giving that one guy like a ton of ID.
Everything about that purse and about those weird guys in white, like, nothing was helpful to her. This was the most ill-prepared alien. Why did they think it was important for her to know the Monkees theme song to their TV show, but not talk to her about, I don't know, kissing or I guess vaginas?
Well, again, their country apparently, or their country, their planet is very advanced, and I guess in that advancement they overlooked certain things, and yeah, she the knowledge they impart her with is limited. Let's just say that. How about that outfit she first shows up in with the like hula hoop inside the dress and
I
the
thought
goofy
it was
hat?
super great. Like, I thought that was really cool. And then when she said, I shouldn't be wearing this, right? I was like, how did you come to that conclusion that this doesn't make sense?
Well, she comes in, let's get there. Let's get there first. When she comes in a little hot to that party. She comes in hot. On a spaceship that nobody sees. Spaceship comes in, lands on the beach.
I don't want to give
nobody
away
notices
my thoughts on this movie, but the moment that party ended, the movie all went downhill. Because I could have watched her act that same way.
Oh, yes.
Beginning to end. Just, what is she? She just wanders up to John Lovitz and goes, "This bud's for you." For why? Did they just show her TV commercials?
What about when she just does kind of like these flips, these cartwheels in the middle of everybody, just for no good reason?
And everybody's hooting and hollering and applauding. And then she goes outside and says, I don't think they like me very much.
She's in there for all of 8 minutes, I think. I don't think she's in there very long.
Well, she's in there long enough to catch the attention of everyone in that party and for everyone to be super into her.
Well, she's a beautiful woman in a weird dress and a goofy hat, and she comes in just like muttering like a lunatic. I agree. If she stayed that loony, I mean, she's pretty goofy throughout, but she was really insane when she first comes into that party. I kind of
just wish this was Kim Basinger or Basinger.
Kimmy B.
Sure. Not sure. We have a disagreement on how to say her name. Kim, write in. I guess send us an email, I guess.
Yeah, but they'd have to like write it out like phonetically.
Well, she'd have to write it phonetically.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a dictionary definition of how to pronounce your name. I'm sure it's out.
Sure,
there.
We could have easily found out before recording, but that's fine.
If this movie was just montages of her doing weird things and saying weird things, I think I may have actually enjoyed this.
You'd be more satisfied.
Yeah. Because even when she goes shopping for no reason and makes all that breakfast food, I sort of enjoyed that.
I do like when she just keeps talking to them and presenting food after food after food, turkey, and then she gives him a drink and hands him over this martini, and it's like
martini, and then asks Allison Hannigan if she wants one. But also, I didn't understand, why was she doing that? Who told her to do that? Where did she get that
Well,
idea?
it's her first day of being married, and I think she felt like, because she didn't, it was going to be his first day of work, and she didn't want him to get hungry and have any excuse not to do his work. Remember? Because she said,
that was explained?
Wow. Kind of.
Okay.
Alluded to, I guess.
The movie we're talking about is My Stepmother Is an Alien.
That's right.
From 1988, directed by somebody named Richard Benjamin.
Uh-huh.
And it has a surprisingly star-studded cast.
Well, yeah, well, when you hear that Dan Aykroyd and John Lovitz are in the leading men, I guess.
Yeah.
You're going to kind of know where we're going with this, right? You're going to kind of have an idea.
And John Lovitz has nothing funny to say. And that's the thing why I guess I was kind of captivated anytime Kim Basinger was doing something, because nobody else had anything to do in this movie. I mean, how do you not give John Lovitz jokes? Like, John Lovitz is a pretty funny dude, and he was never doing anything all that amusing. It was kind of as though they didn't write any lines for him. It just said, "Get out there, John, you know what to do." And he just wanders around, doesn't seem to know what to say.
Maybe they looked at it like, who are the two believable brothers, right? Because these two play brothers, and Lovitz is supposed to be more of the kind of ladies' man, or believes himself to be. And maybe that's where the humor is. And then Aykroyd is a scientist who makes $20,000 a year.
I was very confused by that. He's like an astrophysicist that makes $20,000. And I know it's $20,000 1988 money, but what is that now? $45,000?
Yeah,
it's still low for what I would believe is a very high-paying job. He has a PhD.
He has a PhD. Yeah, he's a smart guy. He's got a lot of knowledge and works at I don't know what is the lab that he works at.
I don't know, because his boss doesn't even know who
Carl Sagan is.
Yeah, Carl Sagan is.
Yeah.
That might have been the weirdest part of the movie.
When his wife, his like breasty wife, is like hanging out over him, I'm like, what are we doing?
I did think that was great when he calls his wife and this like 20-something woman rolls over in bed.
And it's just all cleavage. And she's like, you have a call. And he's like 72.
Because on the phone is the purse worm. We'll get into that in a little bit. But the purse worm's doing a Carl Sagan impression. And the purse worm's like, "It's Carl Sagan. You have to hire him back." And he's so scared. He's like, yes, of course I will. And then he hangs up the phone and goes, "Who's Carl Sagan?"
Yeah, but
why are you being bossed around by somebody who you don't know?
But is it because the snake purse, worm purse, can also it takes over his brain sometimes. Like when it throws him out of the lab. When they sneak into the lab that one night to get her back to, and it throws him and levitates him outside and then puts him back in the car. Remember once he's in the car?
I laughed at that scene.
Whenever anyone's floating, when they do it to the dog, when they do it to him, when they do it. Yeah, so when he lands back in the car, he's like, yes, I need to go home. I need to go. What does he say he needs to do?
I wrote it down. When we get there, I wrote it down because I loved that. That actually made me laugh. That scene made me laugh.
I had a couple of laugh out louds. Most of the time I was I guess a bit, I don't know. In the beginning of this movie, when we meet our brothers and we know right away that Lovitz is kind of the ladies' man. What's his...
Before we see anything on screen, before we see any of these characters, I had to question why Tom Jones did a cover of the Prince song, Kiss. That is terrible.
Yeah, well, that right there set you up for what are we doing with this movie?
That really is telling the audience, this is all misguided. Yeah, everything you're about to see is wrong. Mm-hmm. No one thought this through. Sorry, everybody. Mm-hmm. Here's Tom Jones for a very long time.
Yes, as uncomfortable as this song is going to be, and as much as it's like, something familiar about it, but not quite right. That's exactly how this whole movie
Not quite right.
feels.
And we're going to make you listen to the entire song, too.
Well, yeah, we're going to make you watch... How about when she first steps out all sexy in that white thing and the wind, it's so windy in his bedroom? And she's just like dancing for Dan Aykroyd. It's weird. It's weird.
I understand. You are a guy who looks like Dan Aykroyd, and Kim Basinger is totally into you.
Yeah.
I understand how you can overlook certain things, but at every turn, I don't know how he doesn't think that she's like an escaped mental patient. Every word out of her mouth is lunacy.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I love how at one point he just tells John Lovitz that she has a trust fund and is independently wealthy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think he just makes that up to make it seem like she's okay. Like, don't worry.
I thought I missed a part of this movie. Okay.
No. I think he's just trying to kind of cool. Because everyone, even his daughter's like, I've seen her eat batteries. I don't think that she's somebody you want to get involved with. And he's, again, I wonder if it's that the purse worm that can kind of take over their brains. Although I really, obviously, they are really both in love. And she loves him for his mind. It doesn't matter that he looks like Dan Aykroyd.
Obviously. Obviously, they're in love. Let's talk about this 24-hour courtship.
It does go fast. It does go real fast. Well, the way she's brought to this planet, though, is because of Aykroyd's, Dr. Steve Mills, his experiment that he's doing, even though I don't think his boss approves of it. He's doing this experiment at this lab where he's trying to basically reach another galaxy.
I don't know what he's doing.
He's going to do it with the use of, he's going to get out of the galaxy. And he's going to do it with the use of the thunderstorm and a big solar dish.
No, I don't know. And a guy who I hoped was Eddie Deason. I thought his assistant was going to be Eddie Deason until he started talking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know what he's doing. And is this like a big science-y building? Because, again, his boss doesn't know who Carl Sagan is. And when John Lovitz runs out into what appears to be a mall and starts yelling from like the upper deck, like, I'm okay. I'm looking around, I'm like, this just seems to be some sort of corporate park. Like, is this all science? Because his boss doesn't seem to want him to do anything.
Well, and he's doing this major experiment in the middle of the day, so much so that when he does skip to another galaxy, it causes like an earthquake in the building, right?
Yes.
And that's when, like you said, Lovitz runs out and says, I'm okay, which I thought was pretty funny, even though it was like random. It was like they gave him this line, he delivered it all funny, but what did it mean? Why do we care? What's going on?
Jamie, I think you just summed up this entire movie. I don't care what's going on. What does it mean? I love how he has two computer monitors. One is a computer simulation. It almost looks like a video game of little shapes and then a line bouncing around. Yeah. And then he has another computer monitor sitting next to it, which looks like a photograph of space. And the line bounces from this computer graphic across to the other monitor.
Yeah. That's what he knows he's done it, right?
How does that doesn't make any sense at all.
Because he skipped galaxies. I know. Yeah. I wonder if you did know enough about science, which I don't, if you really saw how dumb this movie was. But
Jamie, we don't know anything about science, and we saw how dumb this movie was.
I mean, can you cause a power outage in your corporate building by trying to contact another? And what was he trying to
I don't know what he was trying to do.
Just prove that there's life out there.
Just send a beam to another galaxy, right? Like, that's it. That's as vague, or I guess as specific as it
And gets. He only tried it once, and he doesn't know how he did it, right?
No,
Isn't that true?
No idea.
It's kind of by fluke that it happened, but it happened. And he's subsequently fired, mostly because he caused a power outage, and the boss is just not happy
and an
that he's doing.
Earthquake. And he probably destroyed that satellite dish or something in the process.
Yeah. So they fire him. He goes home. That's where we meet his sweet daughter. What is her name? That actress? What's her name? She's from American Pie.
Allison Hannigan.
Yes. And we see his little family life. Very sweet.
Allison Hannigan is crushing it in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
When she is crying at several different points in this movie, I was thinking, I don't think she knows how terrible this movie is. Like, I think she thinks she's in something, and she is giving it 110%.
She was, yeah.
Yeah.
She plays a strong, supportive little daughter of his. She's 13. She's just got her new bra. That's an awkward conversation she has with her dad when she's like, you notice anything different about me? Wearing
Jimmy,
a bra.
every conversation between these two in this movie is awkward and inappropriate. I love how when she sees Kim Basinger come out in the morning, she's like, you stayed here? And he looks at her and he's like, yep, overnight. I'm like, that's your daughter. What? Are you bragging about getting laid?
After something, he says to her, well, we're going to go, he says something on the sly.
Yeah, it's something like that. And she goes, oh, I know what that means.
She's 13, dude. Don't let her grow up too fast.
I did
she
not
should
like
still be
their
playing with her Barbie dolls. Yeah. But he's lost his wife recently, who apparently was not the real love of his life. Like, in the beginning, he has this heart-to-heart with his daughter, and she's like, are you ever going to find anybody like Mom? I don't know. We were in love. But when he falls for Celeste, he falls hard, and it's as if no woman had ever existed before her that he ever cared about, right?
It is interesting because he appears at the beginning when he's having a conversation with John Lovitz as though he really has no interest in women or no interest in dating or anything like that.
Yeah, and I don't think that he does.
About face very crazy.
Well, but not necessarily. I don't think that he does. I think that he's like the true nerd type guy that just now, the one love was gone, and now he's got this daughter, and he's gonna try to contact other galaxies and make himself, at home on this planet the best he can. And then, much to his surprise, this beautiful woman pays attention to him. So, like any, he's obviously now this is like, because it becomes his thing. He didn't know life could be this good. He didn't know love could be that good.
And he was also fired, so he doesn't have his work. He didn't have much going on. Yeah, okay.
Although now he's thinking about applying for a teaching position. But first things first.
So upset by that.
Yeah.
He's so like, guess I gotta start teaching again.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you'll probably be making more money.
I was just going to say, I'm pretty sure you'll get more. And was he MIT? He was going to teach it, or he had taught out, or he went to? He's got an MIT shirt on, and they talk of MIT. And first things first, though, he's got to get to this party, which, again, his teenage daughter is encouraging him. We got to go. Uncle John Lovitz is having a party.
Uncle John Lovitz, that's right. And are the children catering this party?
Hello, Juliette Lewis. With
What
a
is
little,
going
right?
on? How do you not give Juliette Lewis, who looks old, like she looks way older than
I
Alison
agree.
Hannigan.
I agree.
How do you not
She doesn't
give
look
her
13.
a line in this movie? Did she say a word?
She does. I don't know what. It's minimal, though, either. Because she's at the wedding, too.
She's at the wedding and at the party. Those are the only two times we see her.
I feel like
and
maybe
she looks
says
old.
something at the
Like
party.
she looks like she's practically the age that she was in Natural Born Killers. Like, that's not that far away. And that's when I was like, what? How is this her first role? It can't be.
I don't think it's her first role.
It can't be.
Well,
but they gave her nothing to do.
No. But she's there, and she's at the party. You're right. I don't know if the kids were meant to just be... Well, maybe because it's her uncle, and she got to invite her two friends to the party. I don't know.
I don't.
It's a big party, though, and he's got this, like, swanky little beach house.
Jamie, you didn't recognize that beach house? We were there. It's the
90210
beach house.
Was it?
Yes. Yeah, it was the same beach house, the 90210 beach house.
Oh.
And I do think his house, at one point, I was looking at the exterior of their house, and it looked a lot like the Father of the Bride house.
Yeah.
I don't know how well you know that.
I do know that. It did. That house was bigger, though, I feel like.
Father of the Bride house.
Yeah, the Father of the Bride house. But you're right. There were some similarities. The fence and the...
Maybe it was because they were always playing basketball. Maybe
there was that. Yeah. There was that basketball connection there. Well, before the party, sorry, backing up.
Yeah, sure.
We have a voiceover. Oh, and we have this weird, isn't this when we see her, like a woman getting ready in outer space, like putting her
putting
shoes
stockings on.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we have Kim Basinger and the worm. Well, what we find out is the worm purse having a conversation basically about this important mission that they have to go on to this backward planet.
Yeah, and you have to know everything about this planet in 20 minutes or something like that.
Mm-hmm. She's got limited time.
Yeah, which makes the information she has provided all the more puzzling.
Yes.
That this is how you would decide to spend that time.
Yeah, she does get some information. Very vague.
Very
vague.
High fives him at one point and just goes, "Later, bro," and then walks away. Again, if you have no interest in watching the whole movie, I'm sure you could find the party scene and just watch it and understand that the rest of the movie is not that good. But if you want to watch it and be entertained, watch that scene. When she smokes a carrot? How does she get smoke out of that?
So she arrives at the party.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rager of a party, and why is there giant carrots being passed around as hors d'oeuvres? That's my first question. But there's giant carrots being passed around. She picks one up and smokes it, but before that, she also ate, because the hors d'oeuvre lady, again, I don't know why, but apparently had a tray of dirty cigarettes, like an ashtray, and also a tray of food.
A giant tray of cigarettes right next to the tray of food, which seems unappetizing.
Yeah.
But these are children, mind you.
Right. It's true.
This party is catered by teenagers.
They weren't. They were a little bit unsure. Yeah, she eats the cigarettes, smokes the carrot.
She recites a bunch of facts about him that are all wrong. I also thought that was great. She's like, your favorite color's red. Your favorite band is Pink Fred. All of this is wrong.
Yeah, she gets some of her facts kind of mixed up. Doesn't she also sing Popeye the Sailor Man? Isn't it the other song she sings? Because I eats me spinach. She does a whole voice thing, change, and she says something about spinach making your hands warm or something. Because later on, she's like, when she goes outside,
she drapes her hands in spinach.
Yeah,
because she thinks they're going to warm them up, which again doesn't make any sense.
When she goes outside to have her minute after she comes in, she's like, "I'm so stupid. Why did I say those things? Why did I think that the spinach was warming the hands? Why didn't I know these things?" Because she's mad because obviously she wasn't schooled properly.
And I was like, you knew it's spinach. There's a lot of weird things that she knows. Why would she think spinach warms hands? The word spinach isn't even gloves or mittens or
sweater.
It's not
that
even
was
close.
Sweater, sweater, spinach, sweater.
Oh, gloves are tiny sweaters for your fingers.
I don't know. She gets her facts effed up, and she comes in.
And you did say earlier she just does a bunch of backflips at one point, which is great.
Yeah, just in success. And then it's shortly after that she walks out.
Yes.
He goes out to her, and she says, "Show me your mighty lab." She wants to get to know him a little better. She gives him that awkward hug where she wants to put her hands in his pockets.
Oh, yeah. I kind of like that scene, too. I thought that was pretty funny because they do look so awkward. And he's totally into it. It's as close in this movie as he gets to... Remember in Ghostbusters when he gets a ghost blowjob and his eyes go crossed?
Oh,
his eyes cross when she puts his hands in his pants. And I was like, oh, that's just what Dan Aykroyd does.
But this is when the girls see them through the window, right? That his daughter sees them.
His daughter's so into this. She wants to watch them make out.
Yeah, it's creepy. Yeah. But he kind of makes a kissing face. She's an alien. She doesn't know what's going on. That's when she decides to go back inside and randomly ask his daughter if she should be wearing the outfit she's wearing. Because it's this weird hula hoopy red dress with a big goofy hat.
That hat's great.
What about when she first walks in and it's kind of hanging right over her eyebrow because the brim, it's a weird large brim.
It's like a scuba suit almost hat where it's a hole that her head barely fits through.
Yeah.
And then it seems all tight. It seems all rubbery.
Bizarre.
But I liked that. I thought it was super cool. but she doesn't. She pulls another dress. Her purse appears to be magical. We don't quite know what's going on at this point.
Well, the purse, first thing we saw was when her spaceship, which nobody saw, landed.
Oh my God, that spaceship was huge too. How did nobody see this?
And right there on the beach, and I don't know. But she sends the spaceship back with this light that beams out of her purse. And then she has the purse with her the whole time. And when she goes inside to ask his daughter if, her clothes are appropriate, the daughter hands her a couple of magazines.
Oh,
and she puts the magazines in the purse, and the purse makes like a ka-ching, ka-ching noise.
It's like, the purse always makes like an old adding machine noise.
Yeah. And then she pulls clothes out of her purse, which, P.S., the daughter sees, but is just starting her suspicions. So she goes to change, like, right there in front of Aykroyd, and he's like, you can't do it here, so they decide to go back to his place, and she changes in the car.
Right, she insists on going back to his place.
Yes.
Everything she does is very
no.
forward.
First they're going to his lab. That's where they go first. She wants to go to his lab.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because that's when she pulls out.
Yes.
He can't get in because he's been fired, and she claims I forget who, but she's got cards again. Now out of the purse come all these ID cards, including her Columbia Records ID. Did you see that? That was a nice little 80s flashback. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a flashback for the movie. It was very timely. But then we meet that inside the purse is this eyeball snake, right?
Yeah.
Or eyeball.
And I didn't know if it was supposed to be like gross and like a worm, or if it was supposed to be like
cutesy?
Metallic. I wasn't sure what it was supposed to be, if it was a robot or if it was some weird creature, because it's a single eye at the end of a snake or worm body. Yeah,
but you're right. It's kind of got this what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of a metallic-y looking body. It's not a slithery snake body.
Yeah, but it's all like
an industrial looking.
But it's like earth tone and fleshy in color, so it's gross. I didn't like it.
I don't think we needed it. I think if there was just this like voice coming from her purse even, and this information, like these little movie vignettes and all this, like, I think that
the effect isn't good.
Would have been enough.
She doesn't need to ever, like, she never interacts with this snake worm, so you're right. It's totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like, she never holds it or touches it or has to position it so it can see something. It seems to know everything that's going on.
Although when she goes to sleep with him, which we're coming up to, she leaves it in the bathroom and she won't let it watch her have sex with him.
I'm so confused by so much of this movie, and I know they didn't. I know they didn't give it much thought, and I shouldn't be as upset with it. I don't think you should.
I think we're really overthinking it.
But the whole let's just wait till they have sex, and then we can talk about it.
Okay. Well, we're getting there. They break into the building. Well, they didn't break into the building. They get into his lab and.
Okay, this is where I wrote down his line. Because the purse does levitate his boss and throw him outside and then throw him down through the roof of his own car. And then he just looks around and he goes, Yes, I've got to be getting home.
Yeah.
I've got to get home to that good pie.
Oh,
and he just drives away. And that made me laugh. That was the first genuine laugh I had in this movie, because I probably would have laughed when she was doing backflips and like smoking a carrot, but I was just so confused.
Yeah, I was too. At the beginning, I was, when we first meet her, I was like, oh boy, is this what we're in for? This is chaotic. And I just wanted pie when he said that. I was like,
Get home
good.
to that good pie.
But it turns out as she goes to the lab to try to get... Okay, well, we didn't say... What's important to know is this experiment that he did where he got to leave the galaxy with this thunderstorm, whatever he did, shook up her planet. That's why she has been sent here, is so that he can do that again and her planet. Yeah. He could readjust her planet. Otherwise, her planet is doomed. Right. So she needs to get him to repeat that experiment. But when she goes to the lab, they both realize he doesn't really know what he did. to do that, right?
Right. I'm still not sure that she's convinced at this point, because for a long time she thinks he's just tricking her.
Well,
and
that's
pretending.
what the snake. That's what the purse worm
Well,
tells
the
her.
snake thinks that the whole time, but I still
Right.
think at this point she's not 100% convinced.
Well, she hasn't fallen in love yet.
Right.
But she gets back to his house.
Mm-hmm.
Is it back at his house, or is it still at the lab when they have the kissing scene?
Oh, that's
and
in
she
the
doesn't...
giant. That's in the satellite dish.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, that was the first time I laughed because they're obviously going to kiss, and the snake kind of tells her like you need to kiss him.
It's so
and
weird.
then a video comes up behind that only she can see.
What I really love is how, like, of course, she has to watch this video, okay? So her view cannot be obstructed.
Right.
So we are to believe that Dan Aykroyd's move when he's going to kiss a woman is to go right for the neck. Like, that is, he goes right there, and he spends a lot of time in that shoulder neck area, enough time where she can watch this video.
He's like
for
nuzzling her.
a
He's just
very
nuzzling.
long time.
Well, because she's got to get her information, and he doesn't care. He's just like smelling her and probably so happy to be near a woman, right?
Yeah, no, you're right.
She watches first some like good like old romance movies with
Sure.
kissing, and which is always strange because as you know, like in movies they often like over kiss or kiss all weird and and she starts doing that, and then there's other videos of like. What is it? She watches like handshakes. She blows him a kiss. She's blowing kisses at him.
Slaps him 5 to 8 times.
She licks him at a certain point.
Yeah, because they show her animal footage, which doesn't make sense. I'm like, why would they
do some
show
kind
her
of weird
birds?
bird mating dance, and he does it too, where they like dance around each other. He's like, "All right, this is what we're doing."
He is totally into it. He's like,
I
"This is
laughed
good."
out loud.
Oh.
That's when I laughed out loud because I was like, "What is happening? This is ridiculous." And I forgot the background is that giant goofy satellite.
I like to think that at times the director was like, let's see what we can make these actors do. Let's see how far we can push these two actors in this scene.
It's really very goofy.
Mm-hmm.
And then the footage starts getting crazy. What else? I didn't write down all the things that they show her to mean kissing. But after a while, it's not even animal kissing. It's like the Three Stooges. Like,
yeah, you're
what
right.
does that have to do?
Yeah, I just don't understand why they keep showing her footage of people slapping each other.
Yeah. And then eventually they do just kiss, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
but then he takes her back to his place, where he shows her his daughter, and she doesn't seem to know what children are.
no, she just looks at her and goes, "She's short.
She's short.
Very short."
And then later on, it's like the next day, she's like, "Oh, your daughter, that's who that short person was."
Yeah.
It's like, what? How did you
It's like she's
figure that
slowly
out?
figuring things. I do like when she reads, she just sticks her arms in things and she reads the book. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. Which made me think, why didn't that snake purse give her just a book on sex?
Yeah,
Like,
that she could have just read. Yeah, why
Right.
did she have to?
why is she looking at a VHS cover of Debbie Does Dallas? How is that helping anything?
Oh, so she knows. Okay. He brings her back to the house, sees the daughter. She gets away from him for just a moment to go downstairs or something.
She goes into the bathroom. She's like, I got to get ready. And then has a loud,
Not whisper.
like she's yelling at this person in the bathroom about sex. And he is right outside. It's not a big bedroom.
Oh, but he's just so excited. Like, he's like adjusting the pillow and
He's
propping
so
himself
excited.
up. He's like, what's going to happen? Because she's like, let's go. What are we waiting for? Let's go in the bedroom. That's where you want to go, right? He's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I love it. The purse, instead of now showing her, well, they do watch some kind of sex video, don't
She
they?
watches, they see some lead up to pornography.
Yeah.
We are meant to believe, yes.
But their
But
planet
most
does
of
not
it
have
is-
sex.
Yeah. And I'm like, she's showing her things that are just not. Here's my problem. My problem is that Kim Basinger seems disgusted and shocked by all of this.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking, you're an alien. Like, why would this seem gross to you because you don't know what it is? You know what I mean? Like, everything that she's done that night, like she's eating cigarette butts, she's smoking carrots, like everything has been weird and wrong. and you're suddenly a human. So do they look like humans on their planet?
Yeah, but well, they must. They all.
So I guess they do look like humans, or are they evolved humans?
That's what you're meant to think, is that because she says something like she's 3,000 years old, that they're super evolved.
But then why is her purse a worm alien monster? What is that?
I don't have all the answers, I don't know.
And if all the women, we're meant to believe also that all the women on this planet are super attractive, are all the men on this planet those old guys?
Yeah, that concerns me somewhat, but...
So they did not transform her from a different being, whatever she actually is on this planet, to a woman for this mission.
I think they did.
She actually looks like...
That, no, because one of the things she's been chosen...
Why would she be so weirded out by sex?
Because on her planet, they don't think sex is a thing that should be done. She goes over that it's too messy, and it's something that they decided they could do without, right?
But if she's not a human on her planet, wouldn't it be different? Wouldn't sex be different? I don't know. I don't mean to get so wrapped up in this, but it just bothered me how upset she seemed by all of this footage she was watching.
Well, if it was the first time you've seen that kind of footage and you didn't know, she didn't have those kind of feelings as an alien. It's kind of like in Big when he's an adult for the first time and so many things are weird and gross to him, and he thinks he's supposed to just have a sleepover, and he's not. She's an alien, so she's and she is sort of childlike in some ways, where she's just unaware of how she's supposed to act.
All right. Okay. I mean, I'm just imagining if you're transformed into some other being, right?
Yeah.
And you're taken somewhere and your body looks all weird and you don't know what to do with it. And somebody says, okay, here's this thing you have to do. You take this whatever and you wrap it around this other thing and you do this with it. Would you?
How do you have sex?
No, I'm just... We're on a different planet as a different thing.
What do you wrap around?
Wait, am I doing this wrong?
What?
Never mind. My analogy was stupid anyway.
I think maybe you're confused about how to have sex. I don't know. You have
might be.
Children, though.
No wonder this bothered me so much. All right, let's move on with this.
All right, so now that she's learned, whether she's into it or not, she's learned how she's supposed to have it. She goes and does this, like I said, it's very windy in the room when she does this little kind of striptease-y dance for him.
It's really funny. And then she, rips her necklace a little bit.
Well, that's something that the alien shows her. It's in one of the movies that the alien shows her. And now they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. There's literally fireworks. Every time they have sex, there's literally fireworks outside.
Those, superimposed fireworks were one of the worst things in this movie.
They're pretty terrible.
I love it because they show it from the outside and there's fireworks over the house. I'm like, okay, that's kind of funny. But then they're also in the bedroom.
They're it's goofy. It's like when you get, now on my text messages, if somebody wishes me a happy birthday, when I open the text message, it's fireworks or happy birthday stuff. That's what it's like. But she is just as blown away by the sex as he is. He's thrilled because he's been laid and she's beautiful and this is too much for him to imagine. She, this alien being who thought sex was gross, is now like, oh my God, we could do anything if we get to feel like that afterwards. And she's almost a nympho. She's wanting to do it again. He's like, I don't know.
She does have some great lines when she's like, do other people know about this?
What does he say about the members of the Martin Sheen family? Did you write that line down?
It's something about energy. It's something about she's like, we could produce so much energy. And then he said, the male members of the Martin Sheen family. It's very specific. And how they'd be able to power something. I don't know. But
she doesn't need a lot of sleep, right?
I don't think she sleeps or eats.
Oh, yeah.
Batteries.
Yeah, she goes for batteries when she's hungry.
Right.
She doesn't eat. When he's sleeping, she scans. She's, again, looking for how he did his experiment. She scans his computer with her hand. Then she goes and wanders around his house.
Mm-hmm.
Starts looking through the books. That's when she could read a book just by putting her whole arm, her forearm, kind of in the middle of it.
Yes.
She reads Shakespeare. She reads a Shirley MacLaine novel.
Yes,
She
finds it hilarious.
Yeah, she laughs. She enjoys it. She watches a bit of TV, and she kind of gets to feel I guess, human.
Yeah.
And I don't think she doesn't not like it. I don't think she does not like it. She likes it.
I don't think we should gloss over the fact that by this time in the movie, Jimmy Durante has been talked about multiple times.
Yes.
When she walks into his house, she sees a hat rack or trips over it.
She falls into it. Yeah. It scares the crap out of her.
She's like, what is this? And he goes, oh, it's a hat rack. These are hats. This one used to be Jimmy Durante's. And I was like, that's just hanging up with the rest of your hats?
That's where he keeps it.
And then when she gets up, she watches some clip from a Jimmy Durante movie. She finds it hilarious. Like, she knows nothing about Earth or its customs, but this guy is super funny.
Oh, this is when she hears that song that he sings about wanting to be here but there, and there but here.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That'll come up again.
That'll
come up again in the scene where you sent me a text, a picture of John Lovitz looking disgusted at this scene. And you sent me that when I had not gotten to that scene yet. And I was like, when does this happen? And I literally, right before it showed John Lovitz, and this made me laugh, I wrote in my notes, I fucking hate this movie. And then it showed John Lovitz, and I was like, oh, that's what Jamie sent me earlier.
Oh, good. So the movie's pretty fresh for you, too. Me, too. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Jessie is the kid's name.
Jessie, yes.
Jessie. She has an odd breakfast. She eats Pop-Tarts with jelly and syrup and shares it with the dog. I guess it's always fun to watch people eat.
People don't put jelly on
No,
Pop-Tarts,
but
right?
I think that was a thing in the 80s. Like,
oh, really?
For 80s, well, no. For 80s movies.
Oh, okay.
There's always, like, we've seen a few of them now, where somebody they put odd stuff together as their breakfast. I guess it's not just an 80s thing, but...
Gotcha. This is also when he brags about getting laid to his 13-year-old daughter, who is on board with all of this.
Yeah. Oh, this is when he tells... Yes, she's totally excited. She goes off to school. This is when he tells Kim Basinger, Celeste, would I scare you if I told you I love you? And she says, only if you hit me, too.
And he even laughs or something. She's like, it's not funny. No, it's not funny.
Yeah, she's got a lot of random things that she says, and he's like, ha, 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 ha.
Yep.
Oh, this is when she decides, this is pretty funny, and again, she's just insane. He's like, I know, this is a lot I'm throwing at you. He's in love with her, and he wants to marry her, and she figures that she should, because it'll help her save her planet, but he's like, if you need to take a walk and think about it, go for it. And she's in a bathrobe and goes to leave, and he's like, you can't walk out like that. She puts on a pair of aviator glasses.
Yep.
And the bathrobe, and walks through his little town. And,
she goes to a baseball stadium, just wanders into a baseball stadium, too.
Well, that's because that's where she's told to go.
Yes.
To go talk to her elders, or whatever they are from her.
Oh, these guys that appear to be in ponchos, like, they literally look like they're wearing garbage bags. Like, just big, billowy, white, and they're all older guys. They're just three older guys. I think only one of them talks, right? Only the dude in the middle.
I think so, yeah.
And they're elders? Is that what she refers to them
The council. I think it's the council.
Okay. And this is when I thought, are they human? Are they human on their planet? Because these men are human, but her purse is not. And I didn't think she was. I don't know.
I think they are a variation of human.
Okay.
I don't think they're like what we think of the aliens, I don't think they look like E.T. on their planet.
Okay.
I think they look like...
Wouldn't that be great if she was just talking to three giant ETs?
I don't know if she's as attractive. Like, even when the other group of women come at the end, I think they are meant to come maybe to lure Lovitz back. Which I think is hilarious.
You don't have to do much to lure John Lovitz
I think
out of
it's
there.
funny that the family is like so devastated that this woman that they know for 2 days and he's in love with could possibly leave to go back to her planet. But when Uncle John Lovitz has to go, they're like, well, it's your choice.
They're like, see ya.
You're right. They all look like Princess Stephanie. See you later.
The only somewhat intimate moment he had with his brother was when Dan Aykroyd said, can I have the keys to your beach house?
Oh,
Nobody cares. Would you care if John Lovitz went to another planet? I don't think anyone would be that upset.
No, I think it's when you're like, well, it's probably what's best, you know?
It's what's best for us. Maybe for them. Who knows?
Who knows? But nobody's even a little bit upset.
No.
He does get to take his car, so he's
a weird perv. He makes out with his brother's wife the
He
moment
does.
they get married.
Oh, yeah, right after. This is before he gets the pretend phone call. Yeah.
That was
weird.
so strange. And then I love how everyone starts applauding because he got the dog off the roof.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
John Lovitz turns around as though they were applauding him making out. And he's like, thank you.
Yeah, you said he had no funny, like, moments, but I think
right.
he had just, I think that some of the timing of this movie was just a little bit goofy and off.
I guess I almost feel like they could have given him more to do. I felt like anytime he was funny, it was just because he's John Lovitz and he's there. But I felt like there was more for him to do.
I agree. I think what they focused on the funny, or maybe it was how it ended up being edited, I don't know, was obviously...
As you should. She was great. Again, Kim Basinger, I've never seen her do this in a movie, and I kind of wondered why she didn't have more comedic roles in her prime. I sort of did.
You did. You wanted to see more slapsticky out of her.
She could do it. She could do this. I mean, it wasn't always convincing, and a lot of times it was awkward, but
very.
I don't know. She was one of the most fun people in the movie. Better than Dan Aykroyd.
He came up a little dry. A little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. But he was a scientist, so he wasn't supposed to be maybe as rich of a character.
When is he not a scientist? Or a blues brother?
All right, wait, I'm trying to get us back on track.
Well, Jamie, they're getting married.
For where we have to be.
Because they just met last night.
Well, before that, though, when she meets with her counsel, they explain to her what marriage is. Because she doesn't know. She just knows that's what he wants to do. That's goofy when they look through the book for definitions.
It's tired and awful and just... Yeah. For a movie that's like an hour 40... It's times like these where I was like, oh, this movie's just dragging. Can you just move on to more goofy... Like, I don't care why your planet's dying. That has nothing to do with any of this.
Well, it does.
I mean, even though it does. But even saving the planet doesn't even make any sense. They do it again and the planet's saved? That makes no sense.
No, they didn't think that part through. They didn't think about the details.
It's like if I blew up your house and then said, well... If I just blow it up again, it'll fix it. What? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, we whatever it is, we weren't explained enough, or at least I didn't take in enough of why it needs to be done again.
And did you think the snaps on his shirt was going to come up again later?
No.
Really? Okay.
No.
He seemed to make a big deal about the snaps that look like buttons, but they're snaps.
But then they rusted in the wash.
And then they go into the place and he's like, metal. It's metal. And I was like, oh, his snaps are going to like come flying off his shirt. Nope, they didn't. He took like a watch or a bracelet and shoved it in there.
See, you caught more of that than I did. Once certain things go down, I'm like, all right, I see. We're going to save the planet. Yeah, all right.
That saving the planet end of this movie seemed like the people who made this movie was like, oh God, let's just get this over with. Whatever. There's no tension. There's no conflict. Boom.
It's
fireworks.
Saved, right. No one tries to stop it. Right.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Jamie. A giant eye tries to stop them in a purse.
Yeah. And then it grows. What about when the eye gets really big?
Yeah. Yeah, I love how we were supposed to be afraid of a worm in a purse that he then just picks up and throws into a bunch of electricity.
Yeah, I like how nobody thinks to ever do anything to that. Well, the dog does. Doesn't the dog try to bury it at the wedding? That's why the dog gets levitated to the. So the wedding happens fast, and yes, they're getting married
How
like
are
the
they
next
prepared
day.
for this wedding?
He just
How?
wants to be married. They'll get married in his house.
They got all this together. At
They
one point,
invited everybody.
Lovett says to him, he's like, "Where did she get a wedding dress in 2 hours?" And my response would be, "Where did you get a tux, Lovett?"
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
How
yeah.
did any of this
How are
happen
you
in 2
all ready?
hours?
Wait, what about then the night of the wedding? The daughter goes to like a prom or a dance. That's when Seth Green somehow just appears and the daughter's going out.
It's just a date. They just call it a date.
Yeah, but she's dressed like she's going to a dance.
But they just come back with like ice cream.
Yeah, but it's the wedding night. So they have this wedding and Kim's in this like big 80s wedding dress.
Oh, that wedding dress with the heart cut out of the
Yes,
back?
of the back.
Oh,
yes.
that's so gross looking.
Oh, this is when P.S. in the beginning of the when she goes to the daughter goes to check on Celeste, and that's when she sees she's eating batteries. She kind of freaks out and tells Dan Aykroyd, like, I don't know if this is right. How is this? It's all happening so fast, and I've seen her eating batteries. He kind of chalks it up to like, you know, you're just not into this because it's going to be your new mom. And
this movie's cut together weird because she is panicking because she just saw her stepmother eat a bunch of batteries. Smash cut next scene. She's like, "I'm so happy to be going on this date."
yeah, exactly. And then the mother, she's acting like she's been her stepmother forever. She's like, "Help! Where did you ever find this dress?" Helping her get dressed, and they're sending them off on the date, just like waving goodbye so that they can have their night of fireworks, I guess. During the wedding, though, she doesn't wear her purse down the aisle, so she puts her purse down on a bench, and that's when.
How old is Seth Green in this? He looks,
he looks like 8. Doesn't he look 8? He's like all of like 4'6".
Oh my god!
And he's so tiny. He even says, like, "I'm glad you didn't wear your heels."
Yeah, he's like, "You wear flats, great."
Yeah.
Like she's still 5 inches taller than you.
He's tiny. And what does she say that he has teeth jewelry?
Oh,
because he's
teeth
wearing
jewelry.
braces.
Yeah, and the way that Dan Aykroyd covers up for it, he's like, "She's Scandinavian, so you know they don't." Like,
oh
what?
yeah,
You know what
because she
braces
says
are?
at a certain point, I think she tells him she's from Holland or the Netherlands or something like that. I don't remember because she can't say she's from another planet.
Yep, no accent though, but
no,
whatever.
Nah, but that's why she's unfamiliar with things like Popeye the Sailor Man. Oh, at their wedding, they dance like champs. They do this like. After the actual wedding, so the dog takes we're jumping around a bit. The dog takes the purse snake
We're
thing.
over an hour into this.
I know.
And we're not even halfway through this stupid
We'll
movie.
get the rest fast. The rest goes really fast, I think. Dog buries purse outside. Purse gets angry. Levitates dog.
Puts the dog on the roof, which is kind of
Kim
funny.
sees the dog go to the roof, or Celeste does, runs outside. Right after they say our dues, she runs outside, to which everybody does. And that's when you said Lovitz kisses her. Weird.
Very weird.
And then, then they're married. And they have a nice reception where they dance like lunatics. And then they send her off that night to a school dance, the daughter. And then,
Jamie,
I guess...
I don't think anybody ever makes it clear that that's a school dance. I don't know what this date is all about. Yes.
Whatever they get to. But now it's, okay, she's married him. Now his next thing is to go to work. In her mind, he has to go to work.
She's
so
insistent.
That he can,
I mean, that night she says, "Hey, don't you want to go back to your lab?" And she's like, he goes,
He's like, it's our wedding night. Yeah.
And he does chase her up the steps. In the only scene in this movie where I thought they kind of had cute chemistry.
Oh,
I
think
really
when they danced to Jimmy Durante that
no,
was cute?
these two had no chemistry whatsoever. That dance at the end, that was embarrassing. That was embarrassing. I assume for everyone that was on set that day.
Well, then why do you think Lovitz made that face? Because he was like, oh my god, what the fuck?
You're right. I assume he did not know that the camera was on him, and he was just reacting to what was happening. And the director, after realizing this was a giant turd, was like, "Oh, let's just put that in.
We're just
let's
going
just
for
put
it.
That in.
Come on.
We already put Tom Jones at the beginning. Let's put this at the end.
We're going to make it full circle madness. Oh, this is when Bud Long, the boss, gets the call from Carl Sagan. Because somebody has to hire him back. Or hire him, I guess.
Yes. Also, after the date, Allison Hannigan sees Kim Basinger draining a car battery, like eating the car battery the same way she did with the D-cell batteries upstairs.
Right. But she needs that fuel so that she could go out shopping. That's when she goes to the grocery store. She goes to a 24-hour diner and apparently just picks up a bunch of crap at the 24-hour diner.
No, she grabs a menu. And then because I was confused about that at first too.
Right.
Until she was at home checking things off the menu. She goes to this diner to grab a menu to then go to the grocery store and buy the stuff
buy all the things.
To make everything on this
everything on the menu. She does. She's got like croissants and pancakes and turkey and
martinis.
Oh yeah,
I mean, there's like you said, there's a big turkey and a giant ham. At one point, they pull back and there's like full hamburgers made too.
And really, all we see her make is she's mixing flour around at some point because she sneezes. Remember, and aliens don't sneeze.
She sneezes into this flour multiple times, and it was super gross.
But she's, like, amazed by it because I guess aliens, they don't have sex and they don't sneeze.
They've evolved beyond sneezes, I guess.
I guess.
But when she lays out all this food, this is, again, one of those times where Allison Hannigan looks terrified by everything that's happening. Mm-hmm. And her dad just goes, "How about this spread, huh?"
Yeah.
No, this is what insane people do.
Well, this is when she gets really upset, and she tells him, like, "How are you not listening to me? Mm-hmm. You married this woman on a whim. I've told you she's eating batteries. Now she's cooking this dinner. You don't, or this crazy breakfast. You don't think it's at all weird."
He goes to work, and Jessie finds her talking to her purse. And that's when she freaks out and she calls him and she's like, "The house is on fire, Dad. Come home."
Oh, yeah.
And the purse like levitates her up into a corner. It gets really creepy because there's like a spotlight on her when she's levitated onto the ceiling.
Yeah.
And she's crying and Kim Basinger's like, "Don't hurt her, don't hurt her." And suddenly the purse is evil for the first time in this movie.
Purse is just taken over now. The purse has had enough.
Yes.
With Kim Basinger, who's now apparently growing feelings and sensitivities. Mm-hmm. She had been cleaning all morning, so she cooks this dinner, and now she starts cleaning the house like a lunatic. And that's another thing that Jessie observes, is that she's cleaning like crazy and talking into her purse, and she accuses her of it. And she takes the dog's bark away. The worm purse takes the dog's bark away and wants to kill her, basically. She's like, "We don't need her. We could kill her. She knows too much." Or what does she know? And Kim's like, no, you're going to let her down and it's going to be okay. I think that's when the titular line comes and Kim tells her, or no, she says, "My stepmother is an alien." Or she says, "Your stepmother is an alien." Because she explains what's happening.
Again, I also have a problem with how this movie is named. Like, it should be like, "My new wife is an alien." Like, and again, I thought this was probably Kim Basinger and Allison Hannigan are doing the best jobs of anybody in this movie. Mm-hmm. And this part, like I said, when Dan Aykroyd gets home and she is just crying and is devastated.
So upset. She is upset.
Like, I was like, the relationship between those two is the best part of this movie, so I guess that's why it's called this. But their relationship isn't what this movie is about at all.
I know. Mm-mm. No, and I had not seen it, and knowing that I thought that's what it was. I thought it was that.
I thought this whole movie was going to be, she knows she's an alien. Mm-hmm. She can't convince her dad. Madcap, wacky nonsense ensues through the entire movie. But no, it's just like this 10-minute stretch here from the moment she sees her eating batteries for the first time to, as we're going to talk about, the bike/car accident.
Yeah. And
then whatever, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, that's resolved.
There should have been more than I don't know what could have helped this movie. But, she's hit by a car when she goes, no, she's almost hit by a car. and her alien stepmother levitates her over the car, so she's really okay. And now she knows that it was her stepmom that saved her, and Celeste realizes that she wanted to save her because she's, loves her or whatever. Right. Oh, P.S. We didn't mention how the night Celeste goes through many wardrobe changes. When she goes to the store, she's in a red dress. When she comes home, she's in a different outfit.
Yeah.
Then after she saves her from the bike, for the rest of the movie now, she's in this weird, see-through white top where you could, see her nipples almost. It's really weird.
I was not ready for that at the end of this movie. I was like, oh, this is weird that they got her into this white see-through top. They hosed her down and then went, hey, you know what you're going to do now? Pretend you're Jimmy Durante.
Yeah.
It's why are you doing this?
Oh, it's in this outfit that she has her heart-to-heart with him, that she can't stay on this planet. He convinces her to eat a sandwich.
A sandwich that looks like crap, by the way. Literally
it
looks like a sandwich I would make in 5 minutes for myself.
And it is. It's like,
this is going to be great. Eat it.
You can't know my secrets until you eat my sandwich.
She loves this sandwich.
She's doing amazing things in her mouth, she says. She's doing amazing things in her mouth.
So stupid.
She's got this weird, this whimsical giggle she does sometimes when she tries new things.
Yeah, she does that from time to time, and it seemed out of character.
Yes. And when she tries the sandwich, she's all... He's concerned that maybe she didn't really like him, and she does really like him. It's just a matter of having to get back to her planet, and then they review about they both have this connection to that Durante song. I don't want to go, but I can't stay.
You're right. It really is, like you said. I talked about how they're getting married, and we're only halfway through the movie, and you said the rest of it goes quick. You're right in that there's not much to talk about, but the last half of this movie was just a slog to get through.
Well, now we know what the aliens' plans are. They just want to destroy Earth. They're like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Not only do you have to save our planet, but you know what's going to happen next? You're going to save the planet, and we're going to destroy Earth.
And I guess it's to prevent this from happening again. Yeah. Prevent, Dr. Steve or anybody
who doesn't
else.
even know how he did it. Well, he figures out how he did it.
No idea. Which seems crazy because he's trying, at the beginning of this movie, he is trying to do this, right?
So you would think he'd be taking copious notes about how it's done.
This is a process that he's been working on for a very long time.
Yeah.
And he might be able to, if not duplicate it exactly, because it is kind of careless. At the beginning of this movie, they just leave a window open. So that's how nonsense happens. But he has an idea of how he did this.
One would think.
Anyway, but the aliens, the purse tells Celeste that the moment this is reversed, the moment the planet is saved, they are going to destroy Earth.
And she is going to, she's already, I think the wheels are already going in Celeste's head, where maybe she can help save her planet and still stay on Earth. Because she goes with him to the lab, but leaves her purse behind.
Yes.
Right?
And the purse
is, he's in it now.
The purse is 100% evil by this point in the movie.
But now he's in on it. He knows she's an alien, and he knows she's got to get back to her planet. And so he's, okay, let's figure out my experiment and how I could help your planet. So they go back to the lab. The purse is left behind, but that sneaky little purse makes a fake call to John Lovitz, who's just playing the piano, hanging out in his swanky apartment.
Why is he playing the piano at the end of this movie over the credits? Did you watch that, or did you shut it off immediately?
I shut it off. I did.
There is, during the credits, there is just a scene of him playing the piano on this spaceship, surrounded by those ladies.
Oh, awesome!
It goes on way too long, but I kind of enjoyed it at this point. At that point,
well, yeah, you needed it by that point. You're like, all right, I need more Lovitz. Give me more.
Would you say ba-da-ba-ba-ba? You're loving it?
It's your way, right away. Well, so part of this phone call that's placed to Lovitz, besides that the purse worm pretends to be Celeste, saying like, I love you, and we're gonna get it on. Come meet me at the lab, but bring my purse, which I left behind. So Lovitz comes, brings the purse, all ready to cheat on his brother.
Totally right.
New
not
wife.
so much cheat. Just be ready. Because at one point he's like, listen, you didn't hear me. I love her. She loves me. He's ready to confess it all and just be like, deal with it, bro.
Yep. But that's not the case, as we know.
No.
This is like you said, the eyeball snake thing jumps out from it. They destroy it. It doesn't take long before the eyeball's destroyed.
And they literally just like do the same thing they did at the beginning of this movie. Mm-hmm. I'm going to push these buttons. And metal does something. So here's a metal wristwatch or whatever he shoves in that room. Mm-hmm. Bing, bing, bing. The laser beam bounces around.
Bonk, bonk, bonk.
Yay, we won the day. And then the eyeball purse freaks out and they destroy it. Like, it is...
Yeah.
It's so quick and it's so inconsequential. There's no tension whatsoever to this.
No, the eyeball thing does get big and scary for a second, but then it doesn't take long before it dies. Yeah. The council returns and is like, you still have to come back to this planet with us. She refuses and is like, no, because I love the things about Earth. And she shows them a flashback of all the things that she's done. Yes, we basically get a recap of all the eating the ham sandwich, making love, whatever thing. And then the big thing you don't want to miss about Earth is that you can perform a Jimmy Durante song with Dan Aykroyd. So they do a little song and dance act that's terrible.
It is so weird. It is so weird that
It's very weird.
They decide to do this because it is Kim Basinger and Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah.
Both impersonating Jimmy Durante.
I keep calling him Durante.
It doesn't matter.
Durante, Basinger.
I'm calling her Basinger.
How do we say anything in this movie? I don't know.
And it's so lame. It's a song and dance. His impersonation, at least voice wise, isn't bad, but
hers is weird.
Hers is terrible.
Her Popeye is better.
Her Popeye is better. But it's a stupid way to sort of end this movie. The only thing that was somewhat redeeming was the moment they finished this routine. The guys dressed in white just go, kill them. I did sort of enjoy that.
Yeah.
Because that's sort of what I was thinking at this time.
Just kill them. Why are they? They're terrible people. Why are they here? Doesn't he plead with them?
Oh, no. It is super stupid because, Jamie, they sneeze.
Oh.
They sneeze. For some reason, they're not on Earth.
No.
But they sneeze and think it is the bee's knees. Like
all of a sudden, they're like, wait a minute. With the sneeze, they think, maybe there's worth some investigation. Maybe you can stay there and kind of do some research for us.
No.
Because sneezes or something.
No, they decide to spare Earth because of the sneezes. But remember, they still want her to come back at this point and teach them about Earth. But of course...
They got an even better teacher.
An even better teacher named John Lovitz. If we are going to send an ambassador from our planet to a completely different solar system, I can think of no one better than John Lovitz.
I can't. I'm okay. Guess what? I'm okay.
Okay. I didn't die. I could play the piano. He takes his car with him.
They let him take the car. They entice him, a dozen women, all that look like the Princess of Monaco that he loves so much, appear, and he is set. He's like, why would I stay?
I don't think it's the Princess of Monaco. That was Grace Kelly. It's Princess something. I didn't even write it down.
Princess Stephanie or something.
Yeah, because he kept saying it. They both said it several times.
Yes.
And that's when in my mind I was like, Princess Stephanie. I guess she was a big deal. Like, I didn't know who she was. I didn't even bother looking it up. But I was like...
she was a pretty princess.
Right, yeah. I was like, I guess this was a big deal in 1988, but I don't care now. I don't care to know. Yes. So, and even at one point, John Lovitz says something like, are all the ladies as attractive as you are? And Kim Basinger goes, they're better looking than me.
Even better. Like to try to get him to go.
Right.
And he does. Then they go back to the house, the family, the new family, and it kind of ends with fireworks because
of course it does. Because of course.
But before that, she plays a little basketball. Celeste does with Jessie, the daughter, and she gets her to fly to make that slam dunk, or levitates her to get the slam dunk. And
yes, because at the beginning of this movie, Jessie is upset because she cannot dunk the basketball.
Oh,
so
I didn't even know that.
Of course, that's how we have to end it.
Okay.
Except for John Lovitz playing piano.
There you have it.
There you have it. That's, I feel exhausted. I feel like I really just, this discussion of this movie took it out of me. But that is, My Stepmother Is an Alien.
That's it. That is it.
So, as if I haven't made my thoughts quite apparent throughout this podcast, I did not enjoy this. Like, this movie was not good to watch. There were moments where I at least smiled. That is better than some quote unquote comedies that we've watched on this. But overall it was bad. It just was not enjoyable.
Not my favorite. I agree. Not my favorite. I guess I saw, like you said, moments where I guess it could be considered cute. Not my jam. Not my bag.
To me, the title
it kind of I thought it was going to be more like a step. Wasn't there a movie where Julia Roberts was the stepmother, and it was kind of showing her struggling being the stepmother, but she was already the stepmother. She was already in it.
Oh, do you mean the one where Susan Sarandon had cancer or something?
Yeah, I think it's called Stepmother. Yes. No, well, I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen it, but I just know that it's more like about the relationship of the step-parent. So I thought there was going to be more of that.
That's what this movie's called, Jamie.
I know.
I really thought it was going to be... I didn't think it was going to be, sad or really even about relationships, but I thought it would be cuter than it was. This movie is so gross and horny, which I was not ready for. This movie did not seem... I thought it was for kids. And this movie's for, older men, that just want to see Kim Basinger's nipples, I guess, at the end of this. It was... it was not what I expected, and I did not enjoy it.
Do you have a recommendation?
Yes. It might have been a movie that I recommended before, but my recommendation is the 1978 Invasion of the Body Snatchers movie.
Ah!
I like the original.
Yeah.
But the one with Donald Sutherland and Leonard Nimoy and a very young Jeff Goldblum is super great. And it was sort of, the idea of aliens taking on human form. I'm not going to get into what Invasion of the Body Snatchers is. I assume people know at this point. But it's tough to do a remake and make it better than the original usually. But I think that this movie actually did that. So what about you?
I kind of have two, but one's not a movie. So the one movie
is
that I would
just to find an alien and maybe adopt it into your family as your stepmother.
All right, technically I have three, but the alien, that's not part of it.
Did I just give you one?
No. I saw in my notes the other one. So the movie one that I just thought drew some parallels to this movie, but I enjoyed this other movie much better.
Sure.
The Fifth Element, I thought, sort of had this, because she reminded me, when she acts all goofy and dumb, kind of reminded me of the Milia Jovovich's character.
You got
in
it.
The Fifth
You
Element.
got it. You nailed her name, by the way.
Thank you. Multipass.
In a podcast where we're not getting any names right, I think you finally got it.
See? Thank you. So that was my movie that I don't know as a recommendation, just a parallel, this movie is sort of like it, maybe, but a lot more better.
I like how... I can just imagine you going, you know what's a lot like Fifth Element? My stepmother's an alien.
I could see where they had that idea and they grew it into something.
Swap out Allison Hannigan for Bruce Willis and you pretty much have the same movie right there.
No, it's Aykroyd and Lewis. And that weird singing alien thing, that sings amazing, that is the
that's
Jesse
Allison
character.
Hannigan.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right, got it. Who's the Seth Green in that movie?
The black guy that's always like, What's his
Oh,
name?
yeah, whatever happened to that guy?
I don't know. But whatever happened to Seth Green? Oh, we know. He still does.
Do you remember the early 2000s when every time you turned around, you ran into Seth Green?
And isn't he still doing stuff?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt he's still doing stuff. But boy, that was just, we were a weird Seth Green obsessed culture at that time.
Yeah.
It was a strange time in our country's history.
All right, wait, I got two other recommendations, not movies. One is, you know what, listen to some Jimmy Durante, whatever you want to call him. Mm-hmm. I have one of his albums, I think it's called Durante's Way of Life or something. It's great. He's got a very fun little voice. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's a nice little, especially summer's here. You want some easy peasy listening music. There you go.
I'm down with that, sure.
The third is, okay, so when she reads with her arm the Shirley MacLaine book, did you know that Shirley MacLaine has all these, like, new age books that she's written about, like, previous lives that she's lived? And
I only knew it, and maybe this should be my recommendation, but maybe I'll save it for a future episode. The Albert Brooks movie, Defending Your Life.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever see that movie?
Uh-huh.
And when he's dead and, they go into a place and it's called, like, the Past Lives Pavilion. And she introduces this.
Yeah.
Like, she's there on screen and she's like, now you're going to be introduced to your past lives. And then everybody gets to see who they were. And that movie's amazing. It's one of the funniest Brooks movies out there. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, she for years, she's written on her beliefs, her crazy beliefs, and she's into spirituality, metaphysics, she's transcendental meditation. Mm-hmm. She has one book, which I haven't read, called Saging While Aging. And in it, she talks about her encounters with UFOs, which has to be amazing. I'm currently reading, but it's taking me a while to get through. She's written a book called The Camino about the walk she takes, that walk. It's like a spiritual walk.
I don't know what that is. I think
she read it. It's this very long spiritual walk that kind of you would take to kind of get spiritually cleansed. And it's her book about it. It's called The Camino, A Journey of the Spirit. And it's interesting because it's interesting.
So wait a second. So now I have to ask this question. Because now Dan Aykroyd is a weirdo, like alien, like he's really on board with aliens and just super strange things and goofy ideas.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, do you think that book in that movie was his idea?
Yes, I wondered if that was.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And when his back was turned, the director was like, now Kim, just laugh at this. It's ridiculous.
Exactly. I don't know, but I do think they were trying to make some sort of point. So anyway, I've only read the one, I'm still getting through the one book, but pick it up.
So, Jamie, here's what we got coming up. Oh, by the way, the reason we did this movie is Happy Mother's Day.
Oh, yeah, Happy Mother's Day.
Any mothers out there who may or may not be aliens, Happy Mother's Day.
Embrace you. Happy Mother's Day to you. Yeah. Wear your best see-through outfit on Mother's Day.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Go out with your kids in a thunderstorm in a see-through top. Why not?
Yeah. I mean,
just live it up. Do your best Jimmy Durante impression.
It'll win over the kids, the whole family.
The kids and the whole family.
There you go.
And the neighbors, maybe, if they're looking out their windows.
You know.
Who knows?
Yeah, where was the nosy neighbor? Like, remember in Harry and the Hendersons where there was the nosy neighbor that was always like, what's going on? Why was it only her that was like... There was the scene where she...
Why was it only the daughter, and the only weird thing she saw her do was continuously eat batteries?
Eat batteries. But what about the next day when they were all leaving... when he leaves to go to work, because she's like, look, I'm jumping back into this movie now. I can't get away. She tells him, like, no, she ate the battery. Again. No.
So we open with a Tom Jones version. No, go ahead. Sorry.
When he's leaving for work and she's trying to convince him after the breakfast that something's not right, and she's like, but she ate your car battery, but then his car starts. But then the whole neighborhood, they all have, like, their car batteries are dead. I don't know why I felt like you needed to go back to there. I want to leave this movie on the planet that it came from, a galaxy far away.
This is one of those movies where I know a year from now I'll be like, oh, we did that movie? I don't remember that.
Oh.
All right. We decided to have a poll for our next episode.
Oh, yeah.
And we
What's the
put
poll?
3 movies that we had not seen before.
Yep.
We chose these movies. We put a bunch of them on a list.
We chose them at random. People should know that. We chose them at random. I picked numbers, and that's how we got these.
You know, and I really love this because we do not fix these. There's no benefit to us doing that. Why would we do that? And these 3 movies that we chose, this poll was so close. Like, they all fell within the 30th percentile.
Wow.
And I think it's really interesting because we have such a there's such a different demographic of, I guess, people that listen to this. Because the one movie was Thrashin', which is a cheesy, terribly bad, like, so 80s. It's a movie about skateboarding, seriously. And that got a decent amount of votes. The movie Pieces is, of course, a horror movie, and the horror fans are just rabid, and they came out, and that was in the lead for a very, very long time. But the movie that ended up winning...
Oh, boy.
It's a very goofy, silly comedy called that not a lot of people know of. I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. A movie called How I Got Into College.
Is this a story about your life?
Yeah. So this is our first Anthony Edwards, our first Laura Flynn Boyle, or Lara Flynn Boyle. We could talk about her name for a while, too,
Yeah, we
I think.
could. I think it's Lara, though.
I think it is, too.
Yeah. But some people call her Laura.
Will my suggestion at the end of this be Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me? Probably not, because she wasn't in it.
Probably not. Oh, well.
She was like, how long do I have to have my shirt off, David Lynch? Sorry, I'm not coming back for that movie. Maura Tierney. No, not Maura Tierney. Who was the woman in the Joe Pesci I'm a Homeless Guy at Harvard movie?
Oh, Maura something is her name.
Moira Kelly. Moira Kelly.
Yeah,
That's what it is. Okay. Anyway, you guys voted. And we're
Here
going
it is.
For our 3rd anniversary. Jamie, happy 3rd anniversary.
Can you believe it? Yeah. 3 years of this shenanigans.
Crazy.
Wow. I love it.
And
I
we will
keep
have
doing it.
so much more to say about this goofy podcast and the 3 years in 2 weeks when we talk about how I got into college. So find it wherever you find it. I haven't even looked for it yet.
I haven't tried, no.
Okay.
This one was an easy find, the Stepmother Alien, if you're so motivated after our chat
I was going to say, why would you tell people it's so easy to find if nobody wants to watch it?
In case someone did, though, it's available. But yeah.
It's a movie that's available. Raves Jamie Lorello. All right. We will talk to everyone in 2 weeks.
That's right.
Find How I Got Into College.
We're gonna.
We have to. You told us to. And we'll talk about it, and it cannot be worse than My Stepmother's an Alien.
Mm-mm.
There's no way, right?
I wouldn't think so.
I don't know who I'm asking.
I don't know. All right.
All right, everybody. Bye. We'll talk to you soon.
Goodbye.
Oh, find us on Twitter and Facebook, and we have a Patreon. Go there. Support us. This is stuff that we forget to say all the time, and then we'll go 5 episodes where I'm like, we didn't mention...
We got to plug ourselves, yeah. How do you find us? Well, if you're listening, you know how to find us, but how do you continue to find us? How do you tweet about us?
The very last thing, yes, go to our Patreon because, yes, give us money, get bonus episodes.
It's so fun.
That's awesome. But also, give us a review and rating on iTunes because...
We love that.
When we get to 100, if we ever get to 100, we will do new bonus episodes.
Boom.
An episode, maybe more.
You don't know.
If you want to hear it, leave us it's super easy. Do that.
A little review, a little sentence.
All right. We have dragged this on for way too
I'm wet and I'm smelling.
Happy month, happy new month.
Okay, I think it's about time to start.
Okay.